Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. All right, today we had our PCE prices news release, and obviously it came out nice and the market was thrilled about it. We have the S&P up about 1.5%, Nasdaq up about 1% and 2/3. Really green day all around. If we can actually go to the S&P chart here, you can see nice green day. And I mean, you guys know me, fundamentally speaking, I can't be more bearish than I am right at this moment, fundamentally speaking. But you just look at these charts, man. Man, these charts, they just look good. They just look good. We have the S&P obviously breaking this nice trend line. We have solid breakout of that yesterday with a follow-up on really good volume today. All buying volume, just open, and we just went straight up all day. I mean, open, just went straight up. So with that being said, things look super duper, and I mean duper, bullish on the charts. There is no lying. There's no trying to make up excuses. There's none of that. The charts are screaming right now that things are bullish as all hell, and that is just the way it is. We are closing above this 407.50 mark. The first time we've done that this entire no, that is the first time we've done that this entire month. So we're reclaiming this huge level, which I talked about, this supply zone right here. Reclaiming that, filled the gap, massive. That is huge, absolutely massive. And this is only the S&P I'm talking about. Nasdaq looks even better, man. The Nasdaq looks even juicier. This is just crazy. So the Nasdaq today, up about 1% and 2/3, like I said, on decent rising volume. We're getting rising volume to the upside. And now keep in mind, the VIX is in the 18s right now. This is very low for the VIX. This is usually, I know, this is usually where it kind of tends to bounce. But we've seen back here, we saw all of January, it bounced, but the market would keep going up. So we get these little bounces in this range from like $18 to $21 range. I only get worried about the VIX if we get out of 21. If we get above that, that's where I start to look downside. But right now, VIX is screaming, things are going to go up. But with that in mind, the VIX being so low is kind of explains the lower volume we've had. We know that when volatility is up, volume typically goes up. Now, I usually talk about on this channel how when there's very low buying volume, that's something to worry about. But really, I've kind of done some researching on the topic, and really you don't need crazy volume for the market to go up. Really, if you see really big buying volume like you did over here back in mid-March, the 13th, 14th, 15th, I mean these days where the Nasdaq was just going straight up, that is really noteworthy. But then when the volume kind of tapers down, but we're still going up, it's not really a sign that things are about to reverse. It's really just that the pure like buying euphoria is slowing down, but not that the selling volume is going to pick up. So that's why I'm not so concerned when you see low buying volume. I'm really more so looking at selling side volume. How strong is that when we go down? And you can see on the Nasdaq, these couple days where we went red, Monday and Tuesday, look at that volume. Just nothing. Just there's no sellers. Just nothing. There's nothing there. There was no sellers here. This was an obvious sign that we were just going to continue to the upside. And sure enough, last 3 days of this week, Nasdaq just ripping up on strong volume. So that brings us to this level. We are back over here to this level right here. I was talking about that earlier. We haven't been here since August. Nasdaq hasn't been here since August. Can you guys believe that? So we're at this huge supply zone, monstrous supply zone right here at the 321 range to about 322. Huge level where the buyers stepped in last August and we just didn't look back. The buyers, they took control there. So we're in a huge monster supply right now, but it looks like we're just going to keep trucking right through it, man. I mean, this Nasdaq chart just looks immaculate. It really looks immaculate. And I cannot emphasize that enough, how good these charts look. Everything just looks so good. Everything looks so good right now. It scares me. It scares me how good everything looks. I mean, in this market, if this was just a normal bull market, it'd be like, yeah, just get calls. We're just going to keep going up. But this market has been so weird, and the macro environment just obviously continues to deteriorate, but the stock market just does not care. But what I find interesting is that this is really on the back of generally low-risk assets. This is on the back of Apple, of Microsoft, of the mega cap tech stocks. They are the ones doing the work here. The NVIDIAs, they're the ones doing the work. You're not seeing that work being done in small caps. Small caps are still well off of, I mean, you look back at the small caps. So the Nasdaq and small caps, they were kind of hand in hand. You see this over here back in August, like I was talking about. The Nasdaq is right here. This is where the Nasdaq is. If we visualize this, the Nasdaq is basically at this level at 195, but small caps are still way down here. So we're still seeing the speculative assets still taking a hit, but we're just seeing these mega cap kind of fleet to safety tech stocks just completely carrying the market. Apple, I mean, are you serious? Look at Apple. Like, what? What? Huh? It's just crazy. It just keeps going up. Microsoft, same thing. It just keeps going up. Just keeps making highs. We're back where we were in August. So we're running up to all these levels. Amazon. So Amazon has a stellar setup to the upside. This might be my favorite setup. This and Google. Amazon here looks immaculate to the upside. And why do I say that? Well, just let's look at our 4-hour chart. That'll give us a better visualization. One day. So Amazon has a really nice looking, and call me kind of crazy, but this kind of looks inverse head and shoulders-ish. Shoulder right there. We had our neckline at this huge level at 101.50. We broke that yesterday, and we're seeing continuation to the upside. So we have that inverse head and shoulders. We have the neckline. We are continuing, and this is really just one of my favorite setups when you see a respected resistance that has been tapped once, twice, 3 times, reject, and then you finally get a strong break on decent volume. That is really one of the simplest setups to the upside, in my opinion. And Amazon, frankly, to me, I would be aiming for this 200-day moving average on Amazon up at 107.50. So I'm in Amazon calls about 3 weeks out. Next one, Google. Same idea, but Google, I really just like Google because this was such a, I mean, really. How picture perfect can this get? It's just your simple, it's just making higher highs with higher lows. You draw your trend line. We broke the trend line. We have found support at this massive level at the $100 cycle level, double bottoming basically with these. If we really zoom in, double bottoming, boop, boop, breaking neckline right there at 102. Google, man, it looks good. This kind of just looks like it just broke a bull flag, and now Google looks great to the upside. My next target, obviously. Oh, and then the other thing, we're bouncing off this 200-day moving average, which has been huge for Google. Google looks right to the upside. So I'm in Google shares, not calls, just shares. This isn't advice. This is not financial advice, education, entertainment purposes only, but I love these ones to the upside. And really, I mean, it's just crazy. This market it never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze. It just, you can't tell me. I mean, I would have thought you were out of your goddamn mind if you came to me after that Silicon Valley Bank nightmare and you told me, hey, guess what? The Nasdaq, it's going to go straight up from here. Literally. I mean, look, have you seen the Nasdaq go up this much, this quickly? Since when? Since like all the way since January. I know it's not that crazy, but it's wild. It's wild that this is on the back of incredibly the deterioration of the macro environment. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse, but the Nasdaq does not care. So we know the pause is now bullish. We know that the fact that the market is pricing in a good chance of a pause, that is bullish. And we can check that right now on our little Fed Watch tool here. We have about a 50-50 chance. So they're 50% chance they're going to pause, 50% chance they're going to hike once more in May. So that's not all the way until the 3rd of May. We got the full month of April with no Fed. And then we have a 100% chance in June, basically. Basically a 100% chance that they will pause. So although, I don't know, June's weird. I don't know why. I mean, you got the same percent chance in May of a pause as you do in June, but then, so I guess the Fed Watch tool is saying they're going to maybe pause and then hike in June. I highly doubt that. This basically, to me, tells me they're 100% sure we're pausing by June. So that is really why the market's going so crazy. On top of the PCE prices, we had those below expectation. Core PCE was 0.3 month over month, lowest since July of last year. So we're getting really good inflation news. No denying that. It's still very high. Do I think it's not going to go away anytime soon? Yes. But that doesn't matter. Market goes up on that. I'm not going to be like, hey, this inflation news is good, but I wouldn't think it's that good. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the chart looks immaculate. The market is in mode where any news is good news. Good news is fantastic news, and you cannot ignore that. You cannot. You literally can't do it. Nvidia, once again, I mean, what is this? Is this COVID all over? Is it? Oh my God! Can I please get that off my screen? I mean, really, look at Nvidia. How easy is this? How easy is this to make money on Nvidia? I wish I was buying calls. I wish I wasn't such a pussy. In my opinion, I'm just so like I can't rationalize buying Nvidia after when you zoom out on the weekly after it has been doing this from 112 straight to 280 almost. I can't rationalize going long on Nvidia at all. But then it does this, dude. It's just like, how simple is this? How simple? How easy is this? It's just crazy. This pullback that we had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week, and then Monday of this week. I mean, it's just you draw your little trend line, you get a little bull flag right there. Bull flag, it breaks, and it continues to just go up, 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 up on good volume. It's just unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable. I can't believe it. Nvidia is the craziest thing I've seen in a while. I mean, it's just absurd. So Nvidia, once again, you are out of your mind if you're going to try to short this. I agree it is overdue for a pullback, but it is not the play. There are much better plays. There are good short plays. Right now, I kind of wish I made a video yesterday and talked about this, but Micron had horrendous, and let's not mince words here, absolutely horrendous earnings. Micron, just terrible. I mean, they were estimated to lose 66 cents a share, and they almost lost. They did lose $2 per share. So that was almost 200% more than they were projected to lose. And then they missed on revenue too. Micron is a horrendous company right now. It looks terrible to me. And sure enough, it runs straight up on earnings. It goes up 7%. And then I'm like, hey, wait a second. Look at Micron. I mean, what the hell? It tops out at 64.50 almost every rally. 64.50, 64.50, 64. And sure enough, what's it doing? Bouncing off that level. Now it's already dropped about 7%. I mean, Micron looks great to the downside, in my opinion. But once again, everything, when the whole macro market looks so good, just the charts on a technical basis, it's hard to justify just trying to find short setups because there are so many good long setups right now, in my opinion. Tesla. I mean, once again, what do you want me to tell you? Go short on Tesla? I'm not that crazy. I ain't that crazy, man. Tesla is doing Tesla things, and frankly, it is unshortable right now. We went up 6.5%. We are knocking. I mean, if you really want to get picky, you could say that was the trend line. Personally, I don't really think that was that great of a trend line, but you can kind of see where we rejected all of last week and early this week, and then we broke out of it yesterday on Thursday, and bye-bye. We have very high volume on a 6% up day. I mean, god damn. So that's a risk-on asset that is clearly doing good things, and now I see an inverse head and shoulders on Tesla live in studio. Shoulder, head, shoulder on Tesla. That is almost picture perfect with both of the shoulders right at 180. Right at 166. Both shoulders. Very clear. I mean, maybe say this is the neckline right there. But this neckline is clearly at the 200 to 220 range. So, man, we break out a 220 on Tesla. I just don't. I know. I don't get it. I don't get it either. I don't get it. Everything is getting worse, but every chart is just screaming that things are about to rip, or that they are ripping. Things have already ripped, but they will continue. That is what the chart tells me. I know. If you disagree, leave a comment. I'm open to your comments. I know it's fun to shit on bulls when things just keep getting worse and worse, and I agree. It is fun, but you just cannot look at these charts and tell me that things are just going to start coming down unless there's news. And I'm not saying that things can't come down. I'm just saying if you're just looking at the charts, which right now you should be because it's clear the market doesn't care about the macro situation. Just looking at the charts, you can't tell me things are about to come down. I agree things should come down, but I just can't emphasize that enough. So I'm all about making money here. And obviously now the money is to the upside, man. It just is. It is. I know. I got roasted on shorts too. My shorts got destroyed. I thought banking crisis, market has to go down. I was wrong. You can accept, you admit it, you manage your losses, you look forward, and now we have our 200-day moving average, which is basically that neckline too on Tesla. So that 200-day moving average right there, let's say that's the neckline. Oh, man, we break that 200-day moving average with a monster inverse head and shoulders, dude. Oh, my God, my brain hurts. Tesla is going to go up to like $260, man. Mark my words. Fuck, man. This is rough. This is really rough. I'm at such a existential crisis right now. And then we have AMD. Sure enough, AMD is going to do weird things. But I don't know, man. AMD looks pretty cooked. But I don't know. AMD just clear support. Massive support at $93. I mean, wick off it. Bouncing. AMD, like other semis, is just really strong looking right now. You just can't short it. You can't. It just continues higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows on the macro, on the long time frames, 4-hour time frame. You can just see it. It's so clear. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Just, yeah, it looks good to the upside. I just don't know what to say to y'all. Square. So I am holding Square. I knew this short attack from Hindenburg would be a very good buying opportunity. I regret not taking advantage of it more. But Square does look rough. I would love to see it get above like 78, but that is way up there. Right now, it is clearly just going on gap fill. We have just a massive gap to fill from 65 to 72.50. So Square, target for that is to obviously fill that gap, but that's what I'm seeing on Square right now. Square is getting big buying volume too down here. Yeah, I think that short report was a bunch of horse shit, honestly. It was just whack. I think people at Hindenburg, they just don't like Jack Dorsey, and I understand if you don't like Jack Dorsey. He is like a Silicon Valley tech douche kind of guy, but unfortunately, I like Square. I really like Square as a company. You can disagree with me all you want, but yeah. Now Datadog, another one I'm holding. Huge green day on Datadog. Datadog, are we just double bottoming here? Double bottom? Is that what I'm seeing here? Double bottom, maybe a triple bottom. Bounce. Clear. Datadog has done this before, and I love when Datadog does this. It did it back here, where you get a very clear level that you are unable to break through. But then when you do break through that, so this level right here at 76, you can see reject, kind of break, reject, and then big break on it. And then we see that big upside. We bounce off that 76. And now I'm seeing that doing it again on a really long time frame. On the daily time frame, we have taken that $70 level that we reject. Now we broke it on really big volume. Datadog looking decent to the upside. I'm not joking there. Oh man, that does look good. We do have a higher high, higher low on the daily. Have a pretty, I don't know, that trend line wasn't really that crazy nice looking, but Datadog looks good to the upside, man. I don't know. SoFi doing the same thing I'm talking about here. We can't break this level. We reject $6, reject $6. Now we close above $6. We're breaking that on large, heavy volume on the daily. SoFi, I would venture to guess we're going to head for that point of control. SoFi is another company I really like long term, so I have very long dated calls on SoFi, but it looks like point of control is next target 650 for SoFi. Let's take a look at the news. Let's see. Do we have any news next week? We have our manufacturing PMI, construction spending, trade balance, Yes, we do have unemployment news next week. So that will be the big one next week. April 7th, that will be Tuesday, unemployment data. That's going to be huge. That is the other huge side of this equation. And I venture to guess, I know I sound insane when you try to do the mental gymnastics to try to justify why everything's going up. But I think really the reason things are going up is because things continue to get worse, but we have a huge pillow, and that pillow is the fact that unemployment is still very low and that spending is still quite elevated. So that is our buffer. As long as we have a solid buffer there and things continue to get worse, you have, if I can make an example, you have like your concrete or a rock solid bed where the market is diving towards, but then we have a big old pillow, which is unemployment and that spending that we are going to hit, and it's going to soften the landing. But it's a matter of how thick is that pillow and how fast is the market, how fast are things deteriorating? I mean, that's a terrible example, but that's kind of what I think is the bullish thesis here. And the fact that pauses and rate hikes are typically bullish. It is when they start to cut because things are getting very bad. That is when things turn bearish. Anyways, so that unemployment data, let's see, do we have anything earnings-wise coming up? Yeah, nothing earnings. No earnings, really. Yeah, so really I think unemployment's the news next week. And just things are so bullish, so I expect things to continue to be bullish. I expect unless unemployment skyrockets next week, then things will continue to probably go up. And with that being said, I would consider you all to please consider subscribing to the channel. Consider dropping a like on the video if you enjoyed. Consider dropping a comment if anything I said made any sense to you. If you disagree with anything I said. If you disagree with everything I said, I'd really appreciate a comment. I appreciate all comments of any kind. And we're going to get back on it. We're doing the daily uploads next week. I fell off the wagon. Not really. I didn't fall off the real wagon like people really say. I fell off the weekly daily upload wagon, and I'm going to get back on. We're getting back to daily uploads, baby. Let's get it going. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.